Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2021 Career Mode, episode number 5. We're going to do an attempt, a one-and-done attempt for the circuit, the Ardennes International, so the Ardennes race. Yeah, so far not so good. It's supposed to be a punchy stage, but looking at the profile, it really didn't look that bad. But then things actually have been quite difficult. Zervis got dropped, his man Chokri tried to pull him back, could not make it. They're out. Lowe got dropped because he's on a -4. The group, you can see as a whole, we have a single rider with a positive race day condition. And in our pre-race, we've got 2 riders that are fatigued, but it still said 0 race day condition on the expected. We have one guy on a fitness peak who's expected for a +2. So the team expected net was a +2. I would understand if it was a little less because of the 2 riders that have some fatigue for this one. But that, if anything, should have been about a 0 or maybe a +1. What we've ended up with, a -9 as a squad. So really, really rough draw on the race day condition. Also, to make things a little bit tougher, and part of what's led to this chaos of a Peloton that's half the size that it should be has to do with the simple fact that the game still has the same glitch that it's had these last couple of years, where you're riding along and then all of a sudden the Peloton kind of spins in place. They stop progressing, and the breakaway can often gain 1, 2, 3 minutes in that few seconds where it does that. Well, it did that. And in doing so, we ended up with all of our guys losing about 2.5 minutes this time. So the gap that was down to about a minute from the break suddenly went back out to 3.5. We're down to 2 of those riders now, though, and they're down to 45 seconds. So we have pulled them back, but it ultimately has led to the demise of half the Peloton, though. As we're about to see, is that Quintana? Oh, it's Quintana. And he is somebody who, if we don't respond to, will go away and not be seen again. So we're going to have a go and try to pull him back. DeLuna is going to get used up now. I wanted to do this earlier with a full team. This is where I wanted to have our go and have our lead out and push. And it's okay if Quintana gets away a little bit. He's not going to stay away. But Lecroc, Cockard going clear? Really? Cockard? Why? Why would you be going clear, buddy? Okay, DeLuna, done. On to Magisha. The reason why I wanted to wait now is I only have 4 riders left. So we're obviously asking for trouble if we try to attack now and put that pressure on. Uribe barely making it over the top. Why? Because if he was 7th in line, he's not putting much effort in. Now, as just 3rd in line, he's got to race pretty hard. We're seeing Schultz trying to attack. It's Quintana who is still up the road. Magisha is going to have to gel up and stay put. We're seeing another attack. Finetto, Rakita, Pache trying to come forward. Coming back at Quintana now. 6K to go.
Apparently, he didn't interfere with the race. 5 kilometers remaining.
Raylanu, just stay put for now. Let these guys do their thing. 4K to go. Gel up for Uribe. We're down to 31 in the Peloton, but we're also down to an attack right now. We have 5 riders going off the front. Nobody else is going to be able to pull this thing back appropriately. B&B, they had somebody in that group. I'm not sure why they did, but they did what they did. Raylanu leading out Uribe now. 1K to go, and Uribe sprinting. Not going to get there. Not going to get there. He's coming on way too late.
Victory right on the line.
Pollock, Gourmet. And that has to do with Uribe not being a good climber and having a negative race day condition where that stamina was so low. I mean, you see he's down to 1% on the yellow bar. And while he's got 40% on the red bar, because of the 1% on the yellow bar, that's gone in another 15 meters. So he really could not have started his sprint much earlier than he did. Raylanu does crack the top 10. He grabs 10th place. So at least there was that, but not the result we were hoping for. By the way, this was stage 4 of 4, our one shot at it. I was looking at a lot of negative potential race day conditions in the first stages, as it wasn't just a couple riders with fatigue, but those improved here by stage 4 as we entered a new week and new fitness levels. This was a race that we didn't prepare for, so nobody had this as an objective, though it was a team objective. It was going to be hard to complete with the early setup, but stage 4 I thought maybe we'd have a chance, we'd have a better race day condition. That -9 was terrible, and we are a team that without the aid of race day condition right now, we stand little to no chance. Those first 3 stages through the quick sim, we didn't even crack the top 1 billion in terms of ridership. I know that's an exaggeration, but in terms of the text-based at the end where you get the top 18 or 19 riders, we never once appeared on that list. The team time trial on stage 3, we weren't last, but we were very close. For the first time in a long while, we actually have a positive running balance, and somewhat comfortably. There's 2 ways to kind of utilize that to the best advantage we can gain from it. And one of those is hiring trainers and trying to develop the squad. Right now, we only have a single rider who's actually worth developing. Or I can add 1 or even 2 more scouts who can then scout a whole lot of potential, and we can focus on development for next season. Because there's only a single rider right now, the likelihood of finding additional riders for next year with a limited pool is tough, especially when currently the way you get so many of your young, high potential riders is through this screen, through your youth development and that scouting. Spanish, Danish, Belgian, Austrian. We're not going to find the guys we need through here because the vast majority of those that we will discover, unlike Mehmeti here, the whole rest of this list are all from major nations. And the only reason why we're using close monitoring on Mehmeti is he's literally the only rider we've found so far that's outside of those top 29 nations. So the youth scouting isn't going to be terribly useful. And because it's not going to be useful, I need to rely on other things to find riders. So for one thing, I'm directly scouting the nations that are outside of that top 29. So right now, alphabetically, I'm down to Argentina. I'm not bothering to scout Riccizi or Sepulveda or Diaz. They're nearly or already 30 plus. They're not going to develop any more or very much more. It doesn't matter if they have 8 potential or if they have 1 potential because they're already developed. Again, looking at your mid-late 20s, same problem. They might have a couple levels left in them, but that's all they're going to gain. I need to focus on young riders. So right now, I've assigned a scout for Perez and Taboso, but it's going to take a while, especially with only a single scout. It's going to take a long while, and we're going to barely get into the B's or C's by the time we hit the scouting period. I've got a lot of nations to cover and a lot of young riders to go out and manually scout. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of that money, and I'm going to pick up 2 more scouts and try to speed this process along. So for now, our focus as a staff is scouting young talent because that's the key to success in this game. Finding and signing Riccizi is not going to get you very far. He's at the end of his career this year anyway, but that's not the point. The point being the old guard. Signing Chris Froome for Israel Startup Nation is not going to make Israel Startup Nation suddenly a good team. And yet this year they suddenly have this reputation that they didn't have last year. And it's not earned. It's through fame. It's through media coverage, and the media coverage is coming from Froome, even though Froome, rightfully so, coming off of a horrific injury plus at his age, is not the Chris Froome who has won all 3 Grand Tours. And then some. Froome is a shadow of his former self, and there's been as much talk about Israel Startup Nation than almost any other team in the build-up to the Tour de France. arguably Ineos might have had slightly more coverage. I don't think Jumbo-Visma, I don't think UAE have had anywhere near the coverage. And that's down entirely to Froome getting to ride at the Tour, even though he's not the leader. He's going to be the team captain, and that's all. Anyway, point being, I need to find young talent that I can develop. And to find talent that is young is going to be so much trickier on this playthrough than any other one I've had. Ranked 32nd in the world, Belarus is actually one of the better nations out there, but just outside of the list. So looking at what we have, there are some possibilities here. For one thing, we can see Minsk Cycling Club does contain the majority of these guys, which is one of the main reasons why there's a pretty wide selection within the group this year. But OK Puncher, no contract. He's 25. We can see what his potential is like. And so with 2 new scouts, you can see I've already got 6 assigned, but with 2 new scouts, we've definitely got some options. So I think we can kind of make our way through the Belarusians here and see what, if anything. We got a 26-year-old sprinter who's not good. Let's bypass that one. What's his resistance? Yeah, it's not much better than what we have. 25-year-old sprinter, same problem. 26-year-old, 24. We do have a possibility here. 18-year-old stage racer. This is the type of guy that we want to get after. And we move forward to the Vuelta a Asturias. We're on stage number 1. 3-stage race, and we need to win a stage. We've got like back to back to back to back over and over again sponsor objectives that are to win stages. Top 10s are so much easier to accomplish than getting these stage victory style objectives. So really unlucky on the draw for that. And Uribe is dropping back so fast. He's already to the back. Come on, buddy. Uribe, the one we're trying to hang on for. It's the 2 climbs we worry about. And he'll be okay for this one. Barely. He very nearly got dropped there, running at a 78 pace. He's going to have to push really hard on this climb just to stay in the group. And assuming that the pace is going to be much higher next time around, I don't think Uribe has much of a chance. And he's our only chance. Race day condition is excellent. What a difference the new planning system makes, the objective system specifically, instead of the old fitness system. Now, the old fitness system was super, super easy to have high fitness all the time. But then you only got the bonus for fitness peaks a few times a year. So you didn't get it often, but you could have high fitness all the time, which was a minor bonus. Well, now you have that mixed bag. You have that roller coaster of fitness that's more realistic. And it's a much easier system to work with. The downside, of course, is you have the roller coaster now. You don't just have high fitness all the time. But the good thing about it is you can have so many more fitness peaks. You can have things tie together specifically for your objectives. And that's a brilliant thing. I really like this new system, both for the realism that it offers in the peaks and valleys, but more specifically in that you can now tie things together. You can focus objectives. You can get the right players, the right riders in the right place at the right time. And that's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. We still have the big climb to come, and then one more little moderate one. It's the same big climb and previous moderate one. This one would be after the finish line now, but De Luna, Wang, barely hanging on right now. 63k to go. This is time to get water. Wang's a little bit better off than De Luna, so we'll send him back to get the water. Bakalance with a puncture. 55k to go, so really good timing on the water. No problem there. And that task is nearly complete. There we go. Now it's done. I believe DeLuna might... No, DeLuna's hanging on near the front. Now the pace starts to lift. DeLuna slowly slipping back. He is protecting Uribe, so we don't want Uribe left alone. Chokri needs to take over. And DeLuna... We'll set them to auto. They'll be gone. Especially as this pace lifts. They're not going to recover any of this. Short descent isn't going to help. They're never going to get back near the front, so we'll just leave them on auto. Call it a day there. So that leaves us with 6 now. Through the sprint point. Breakaway, not that far ahead. Minute 45. With that climb coming, I'm sure no problem. There are a few World Tour teams. It's going to be really difficult to get any win in a race like this. Really difficult. Hence the top 10 thing being so much easier to achieve. Even if it's overall as opposed to breaking it down on a stage-by-stage basis. One stage of brilliance, it's not easy to achieve.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The Peloton has significantly
Peloton shrinking in size. DeLuna has not been dropped yet. 133 left. Breakaway under a minute ahead. Again, their time very limited, and we need to speed things up. Say 88.
He's trying to give his pals the slip.
Right near the front. For now, we want to just hang on and survive. Oh, Magisha. Don't lose 4 bike lengths in just an instant. Okay, DeLuna fading. That's expected. Magisha, Wang. Uribe slowly drifting backward. That's more than slow, but we can't speed him up much. 5K to go to the top. Low, drifting backward. Wang, out the back. Okay, we're hanging on okay, but Uribe does not have much left. We need to back off a little bit and hope that they back off a little bit. Chokri's going to get dropped. Uribe's going to get dropped. He just ran out of energy. And they go out the back. Just over 1K from the top. Not far off, but without the energy, they're done. And we're down to just 2 riders, Magisha and Raylanu. Okay, in terms of a sprint, we don't have one. In terms of a sprint, you'd hope that these guys can get back on. 15 riders to rejoin the 70 at the front would be amazing if we can pull it off. They're not far behind. And we've got Keegan Swerble working hard to make that happen. Kambao. They're not far behind now. They are not far behind. Oh, just as we go to make contact, a group is dropped.
A rider has just suffered a puncture.
Uribe just hanging on, but I don't think that was the last uphill. We're down to 6K.
The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
And there's a double split up here. Watching our team leader, things did not go well. I mean, they were set to 88. They should have been able to hang on to that. 30-something riders going clear. Oh, and then Magisha. 4K to go. Uribe's not getting back on.
And off he goes. He's giving it one last go. Watch out. A team leader is falling behind.
2.5K. 2K. Raylanu to sprint, try to close the gap. Hagita takes the stage ahead of Patelli, Uman, Lastra, and Raylanu makes his way up to 38th. Uribe, first to the group. I hate when that happens, though. You know that your only chance, right? We needed to win a stage, not just finish in 15th. Literally, our only chance is Uribe for that. There is nobody else capable of sprinting besides him. He's close enough to the back of the group that we have to focus on trying to get him back in the group, right? If he's dropped way, way back, there's no way, right? And you focus on the guys at the front, and you do your best, and you finish 15th or 20th. But with Uribe as close as he is, you desperately have to try to do something. Now, I could have been even more desperate and dropped Raylanu and Mugisha back and tried to pick him up, and as a team, as a unit, pull him back up there. That almost would have been a better move, because I know there's no chance that Raylanu or Mugisha are going to do anything above a top 15 or so. So I think in that situation, I have to sacrifice their chances for his chances. Would have been the smartest move to make. But by keeping on with Uribe and focusing on Uribe, Raylanu and Mugisha somehow get dropped. Now, that wouldn't normally happen. But it's new AI behavior this year. It's more aggressive, and we are weak riders in a strong group. They were set to 88. They shouldn't have been dropped. They still had energy left, but not much. If we had them at that 90-something to stay on par, they're going to end up getting dropped in the end anyway. They're not going to finish 38th and 52nd if I'm with them, if I'm focused on them. They're probably finishing just barely top 25. So wouldn't have been much different. And why ultimately I needed to kind of protect Uribe and try to bring him back, ease him back forward. Not the case, not what happened, and it falls to pieces entirely. We've got 2 more stages to try, but it's a difficult prospect. There's no sprint stages. We've got 2 more punchy stages to go for the Vuelta a Asturias. We'll see if we can do any better in the next 2. For our very first round of dossiers, it's a difficult prospect. We're a team with no reputation yet, which means it's expensive to open dossiers on virtually anyone. I have found through this early scouting process a few riders that are pretty good. One of them already with 100% interest, so there's something. But we want Uribe back because of the quality he offers, even though it's mixed. On paper, it does something for us anyway. Mugisha is the one high potential rider, so we definitely want him back. And then Phytosa, and Phytosa has decent potential, so there's a good option, and he's young. Phytosa is just 18, stage racer, 69 mountain, 68 hills, 69 time trial already, 65 resistance already. Pretty good start. And then the best rider that I could find, who's still relatively young outside of the ranks. I mean, there are some guys in the mid-70s that are near retirement age, but a 72 overall and just 25 years of age, a Rwandan in Arroyo, that's decent. He's a puncher. I don't value punchers too high, and I don't know what his potential is yet because we just found him in the mix here, but it's a start. It's something he could come in as a team leader right away and probably still not be paid that much. And even if he doesn't develop too much, he's as good as Uribe right now. And that'll make us more competitive even if we're still Continental next season. And I expect we probably will be. So it turns out that stage 2 was a big mountain stage. There was no way we were going to compete with these World Tour guys on that one. And there's not much hope for competing today for this stage. I have won on this particular stage in both the Vuelta a Asturias and other races on many occasions. But I don't know if I have the right profile, right riders for this one. I think this is more of a punchers type day. So my hopes of riding for Uribe, that he can hang on, very, very unlikely for this one. I mean, he's already struggling. Look how far back he is. I think I need to maybe swap him and Chokri and
There's a breakaway in the leading group.
try to protect Chokri instead, because Uribe has punchiness, but he just cannot climb. And Chokri's got a 67-71 today. Not that that's great, but it's a lot better than Uribe. You don't necessarily have to be a good sprinter to win at this stage. You need to be able to get a little separation, a little gap before the top of the climb, and then have good descending to stay ahead. And then once you keep a little bit of gap, doesn't matter at the back. The sprint becomes irrelevant if you can open a little bit of a gap. So let's just do it. Aribe, you're going to go forward, and Chokri, let's follow as Aribe brings us back up. Because they are right at just about at the back of the peloton. That was the first 3 times. We have 5 to go. 8 laps on this circuit. It's really short. And Aribe, you can see here, he's a puncher, not a regular climber. We go with a little bit of punch and he can keep up. Teammates are starting to slide back a little bit too. We're going to have to start protecting them. Wang is already used up. DeLuna already used up. We need to start protecting the leaders. Mugisha.
The pack's deficit is being cut back.
And see, here's Aribe's punchiness showing as he's leaving Chokri behind a little bit.
There's an attack in the group at the front.
All right, there goes DeLuna. I want to switch this up now. So Mugisha, go ahead and protect Mugisha. And these guys, time to up the effort. There's Low. Low, you probably need to be protecting Raylanu. We need to start upping his effort a little bit. Chokri should be following Mugisha, not Aribe. And let's bring the trio forward. 3 laps to go. Low still trying to get up towards Raylanu. Raylanu, the only one holding near the front well. Chokri might have used up too much energy protecting Aribe there for a long while. And chasing Aribe as Aribe made his way back forward. Turns out that maybe Aribe was better off than Chokri. Down to 51 in the peloton, and that suddenly has these 3 at the very, very back of it with just 2 laps to go. No. Hold on. Let me recalibrate how these 3 are working. I gotta put Chokri in the middle just because of positioning, but Aribe, push forward. Because we're about to lose contact. Chokri.
Falling behind. A team leader is falling behind.
There you
We've
go.
got 15
Okay.
kilometers to the finish line.
Keisha, sorry. Chokri was useless with that one. Two laps to go. And we're seeing the first move of the day. This could be the winning move already. Mugisha just needs to go forward on his own now. And Raylanu. Go with the move. Okay, they stopped. Low offer protection. Mugisha has made it through. Okay. Follow Magisha. 1 lap to go. 1 rider left off the front. Still 38 seconds ahead. That's a healthy gap as he goes. But Magisha doing the work. 10K to go. Raylanu is going to try to go solo for the win. So Magisha, we want him right near the front at the base, and then he's going to push as hard as he can and support Raylanu. Full 99. Raylanu gel. There you go. That gets him out front. And you can see others are already on the attack. We're waiting a little bit longer. Now, Raylanu. In a good position. He's going to go over the top first place.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed
Freeze.
the 5 kilometers road sign.
Follow Uman. 4 riders at the front. Uman, Raylanu, Rosa, and Pedrero. We have a chance. We have a chance here, folks. 3.5K to go. 4 riders off the front. 2K to go. 1.8K to go. Raylanu, start your sprint. 1K to go. He's going to run out of energy before the end. He's not even going to get top 3. He's by far the weakest of the 4 riders there. He is so close. We came so close to making it work. Uman, Rosa, Pedrero, Raylanu. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a great performance from such a weak team. I mean, you've got 3 strong riders, 3 strong teams. Jumbo-Visma, Arceus Amsic, Movistar riders. And then we beat Vingegaard, Uran, and Higuita, Garcia Cortina. I mean, this is a who's who list. Not the biggest names in the sport, but big names. And then Raylanu, total unknown, grabs 4th place. And gets oh so close because we get a small 4-man break. We just, like I said, at earlier stage 1, Uribe is the only guy who's got any sort of chance of winning a sprint. We needed to have full clearance, and we almost got it. I mean, we beat the entire field except 3 guys over the top. And those 3 guys all beat us directly in that sprint, which is what we had to avoid. Couldn't avoid it. Came so close. Great result. Still not a win. Still going to go down as a failure, which sucks because it was a fantastic result. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.